Hi, my name is Abby. I live with that guy and Rocky and that guy in this truck camper, and in this video we are driving up Big Sur. This is a beautiful rugged coastline along California. Generally starts in the small town of Cambria and makes its way all the way up to Big Sur, California. This little adventure has already started pretty interestingly. We had the police called on us for parking on the side of the road in front of a state park where other people are parked. So basically when we find places to park overnight, we use sites like iOverlander or freecampsites.net just to see where other people with similar rigs are parking and having no problems. And this site was reviewed yesterday and I think just a few days before that as well. People with RVs come and they've stayed here and they've reported that they've had no problem. They were able to sleep here through the night. So we got in at around 5 o'clock maybe, and we found a spot to park, and I don't even know if we'd been here an hour before we had a knock on the door, and it was a police officer who said he had a call that we had been at this site for the last several days. It's our first time in Cambria. This is our first night here. We've literally never been here before, either one of us, in our entire lives. We told the officer that, and he basically just said, okay, no worries, but unfortunately by 10 p.m. you can't be here anymore or I'll give you a citation, which we do not want. We can't afford a citation. So we ended up booking a campsite. It's about 20 miles back and no longer along the Big Sur coastline technically. So we have to backtrack about 20 miles. We did get quite a few people who stared at us and kind of stood in front of our camper and looked at it for a long time. I'm not sure if the overall vibe just isn't very van life or nomad friendly here. At the end of the day though, it could have gone worse, and that's what I'm trying to tell myself. You know, we could have actually gotten the citation. The police officer could have not believed us. He could have told us we need to leave right now. I'm very grateful that we were able to find a campsite because it looked like all of the state parks were booked out, so I'm very happy that we found one that was close. I was kind of hoping to spend some time in Big Sur. Again, we used iOverlander to find quite a few sites that were just pull-offs or random street parking where people said that they didn't have any issues, and it seems like it may be an issue for us. We have a truck camper. The truck camper is a 1997 Lance Squire 5000, but the truck is a 2022 Ford F350. So I don't know if the optics of the vintage truck camper maybe don't sit well in some communities or what, but you know, it's just something that we need to be mindful of. Roll with the punches, roll with the waves, because they're out there. Anyway though, I just walked along the boardwalk that's here and I was taking some footage and I realized that my lens was dirty. I cleaned that up, so hopefully there's no more bad footage going forward. And right now I'm just heating up some leftovers for us. We're gonna do burritos. Grr. Alright, we're just gonna enjoy dinner and probably get headed over to our campsite. I'm gonna include some of the footage that I took earlier today right now, and I'll see you at camp. Alright, we got to our campsite pretty late. Quit making noise! I can't even really show you anything because it's pitch black outside right now. The campsite's very busy, so I'm gonna go to bed. Good morning. It was really hard to sleep last night. I guess we were just so stressed out and high-strung from the events of the day that it was hard. Even though we had a designated place to sleep for the night, we were just kind of on edge. Checkout's at noon here, so we're just going to be working, doing a couple things, and planning where it is that we're going to go next. I'm hoping that we can find another campsite somewhere in Big Sur so that we're not just doing the whole thing today, but I'll let you know how that goes. So generally speaking, I've always been a mountain girly, but since we got to San Diego, I have been obsessed with the ocean. I'm reading a book about dolphins. I've just wanted to be on the beach every single day. I'm having such a good time, and one of the things that I did to maintain my ocean girly vibes is I got coconut water, and I've been putting some in our morning coffees, and it's actually really good. It just gives a smooth kind of sweet but not too sweet flavor profile that I really like. Oh, so good. It's a little darker than I would like. I have it on auto, and then usually I just edit the video afterward. And generally speaking, it does me well, but there are a few clips where it's either super bright or really dark, and then I'm kind of stuck with some not so great footage. We are looking at some different first come first serve national forest camping along Big Sur. What are you fixating on? No, 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 no. He's like staring at some people riding their bikes. The California state parks that are along Big Sur are completely booked out. There's really only one other option, and we wouldn't even really be driving all that far. We would just be going about 20 miles north, and I'd like to do a little more than that today if we can. So there are quite a few national forests that are just first come first serve. There's about 30 campsites total out of 3 that we found. Hey! No, no. He's still like staring at these people. I'm gonna close the window. We're kind of in a tough spot. I did not think that we'd have to actually pay for campsites. It seemed like there were a lot of pull-offs that RVers and van lifers were using along Big Sur, but just given our day yesterday where we had somebody call the police and say that we had been camping on this street for the last several days, which we had not even been there an hour yet before we had the knock on our door. It's just really crazy to me. And it definitely gives me a little bit of perspective. It's the first time that I'm kind of dealing with something like this on the road. This is definitely my first time. We had a knock from a private security person in Flagstaff, just basically letting us know that we couldn't sleep in the Walmart parking lot, but he literally gave us some other recommendations. And I try to be pragmatic. I try to understand why this is happening. When we were in San Diego, there were a ton of no camping, no overnight parking bans on a lot of different public parking spaces. It really boiled down to the fact that they were trying to reduce their homelessness rates and homeless populations in the city specifically. But at the end of the day, putting a ban on something and just telling somebody they have to go to the next town over is not solving the problem. It's not ending homelessness. And I remember I was looking through the Facebook of the city of San Diego and Carlsbad and some of the surrounding areas who had enforced this ban, and just as they were kind of talking about these new ordinances that they were implementing to ban overnight car camping. And I was reading some of the comments, and on one hand, there were a lot of people who were saying, you know, we pay taxes for these public spaces and we don't feel like we can use them appropriately. In America, the right to privacy, the right to private property is a very serious thing here. We take it very seriously. And I do get it. You know, there are times where I pull into a Planet Fitness parking lot and I see somebody sleeping out of their car, and I make sure that I don't park by them because I don't want to wake them up. Or if I go to a park and I bring a picnic basket and I see somebody out of their vehicle or their RV brushing their teeth in their pajamas, I may be like, okay, I'm gonna stay a little bit away from them because it feels like I'm invading their privacy even though it is a public space. So I get that. I also understand that at the end of the day, while we're visiting and we're trying to camp as low budget as possible because we are not rich, we're not contributing to public taxes, we're not contributing to the local tourism, the economy in as significant of a way as we would if we either lived here or paid for a hotel or a campsite every night and ate out and spent all this money here. So we're not really adding to that benefit, but we are using the resources, we are using the bathrooms, we are taking up a parking space, we are disposing our trash, we're filling up our water in these places that other people are paying for. So I understand that, but at the same time, if you are going to call the police, a public resource that people pay their tax dollars for with the intent of keeping folks safe and protected, and you're going to lie to that public resource so that you can have somebody move from where they're allowed to publicly park in a public parking area with no restrictions during the daytime, you're going to lie about them and waste that public resource for other people who may need it for safety reasons. You're going to make them waste gas driving out to us and then waste their time because they're attending to this call and having to log it and follow the protocols and everything with it. It was just really sad to me that somebody felt the need to do that, and I want to believe that there was a truck and camper that was almost identical to ours, because I can't imagine calling the police and lying. And, you know, at the end of the day, it put us in a tricky situation. I was very concerned that this officer was not going to believe us or was going to be like, I trust my community more than I trust this random person. You need to get out of here. I was very concerned about that. I'm happy that it did not go that way, but we're definitely a little on edge about parking just on the street in Big Sur right now. So trying to figure that out. There are some campsites. I'm excited to check them out. But yeah, see you soon. Look at what we found! I don't know anything about sea life. Like, could he be hiding in there? No, it's definitely hollow. Oh no! I wonder what happened to the little guy. Alright, on the lunch menu today, tofu burritos. Alright, we just passed Cambria, so we are officially driving through Big Sur. Unfortunately, it's really foggy, so I can't really see much. I'm hoping that as it clears up, I'll be able to show you some more stuff. Fingers crossed that we can find a site. It is a Friday, so it might be busy, but I'm really hoping that we get some good luck. You guys, I'm not gonna lie, it smells so bad over here. Like, so bad. I genuinely felt a gag in my throat from how bad it smells. It's like dirty socks mixed with just pungent foulness.
It smells like the bat exhibit at the zoo, honestly.
We just learned that elephant seals can weigh up to 5,000 pounds, which is crazy. The males are the only ones that have that noticeable scraggly little nose thing that gives them...
elephant's trunk almost.
The elephant trunk. Females and pups have more typically what you'd think of when you think of a seal in terms of their facial structure. And their coats have different colors based on how old they are. So when they are very young, they come out with a black coat and it slowly molts into a silver coat, and then by the time that it's sort of that brown tan, that's when they're ready to get in the water. Very interesting. Let's keep going. So glad to be away from the smell though, I'm not gonna lie. The first campground that we went to was completely full. The second one that we went to had a sign that said there were sites available, so we went in, checked with the camp host, and she said that the only site available was a tent site with no available parking, so that obviously wasn't going to work for us. She did mention some BLM dispersed camping that was very close to this campground. When we drove over there, the road was very tight and it did require four-wheel or all-wheel drive. We just found out last week that our four-wheel drive does not work. So between that and just how small the road was, we decided against checking out the sites. There was a third campground that wasn't along the water or along Highway 1. It was sort of within the mountains around Big Sur, and we decided to check that out. The only sign that sort of offered any caution or warning said vehicles over 30 foot and over 30,000 pounds, not recommended. We are neither of those things, so we felt comfortable making the drive up, and it was intense. There was no guardrail, no railing, no fencing, anything like that. The edge of the road was very overgrown, so you couldn't really see exactly how much vegetation or dirt on the side of the road you actually had if you needed to pull off, and it was just really tight and winding around these canyons or winding around these mountains. It was very scary. We're definitely a little too oversized to go through it, if I would argue. The only cars that I've seen go by were smaller trucks and SUVs. The camp host at this campground that we went to and checked in with her, she did say that there was dispersed camping here. This was a 13-mile road to get to the campground, and we only made it about 4 miles in. She said there was dispersed camping on this road too, and I haven't seen it. I'm assuming there are these pull-offs. I'm assuming she's talking about that. So we pulled off just on a random little pull out here on the road because we don't want to go any further. And I don't know, I'm really, after everything that happened in Cambria with the police officer, I'm definitely a little nervous to test my luck and try and stealth camp. But at the same time, I at least hope, I think she did say that there was dispersed camping, and I didn't see anything, so I'm assuming this is it. I'm really hoping that that's it. I'm hoping we don't get a knock or anything, because honestly, having to drive down this mountain in the dark would be absolutely terrifying. Big Sur has definitely been a lot more stressful than we thought it would be, which is really interesting. I'm kind of noticing a pattern that in our van life truck camping journey, a lot of the places that everybody hypes up, that we get told, you know, are going to be some of the best drives and the best spots to see, end up being a lot more crowded. They end up being a lot harder and more stressful to get to. And it's a lot of the places that we don't really hear about that we end up being pleasantly surprised with. Definitely when you have a larger rig, which I wouldn't say we're completely oversized, but we still feel oversized compared to vans, smaller trucks, and car campers. So it's definitely been a bit of a challenge just trying to navigate some more crowded areas, more touristy areas, and just tighter areas in general. And Big Sur has been one of them, but it has been so gorgeous. I'm so sad that it was so foggy this morning when I was trying to film. It's sunny now. And I'm really hoping that tomorrow as we head out, I'll be able to show you some more, because when the sun does poke out, it's beautiful. It kind of reminds me of some photos that I've seen of Hawaii. I've never been there, but just the mountains mixed with the beach and all of these different types of vegetation, it's gorgeous. It's truly unlike anything else. Okay, so the more that we talked about it, we were like, okay, if we did get the knock and we did have to move and it were nighttime, this would be a terrifying road to try and navigate in the dark. I told Jack, like, at the end of the day, I would ask how much the citation were worth, because it might be worth it to just take the citation and not have to drive this overnight. I'm going to show you why it's so freaking scary. But we're on our way back to Highway 1, and I don't really know what we're going to do. Planning on just making it back up to Monterey and just kind of seeing where we can park for the night there. I did have a friend send me some coordinates of some places that worked out for her. So bare minimum, we know we can do that, but it is a bit of a drive. Hopefully we can get there before dark. But I'm going to show you guys why this road was so scary.
Oh, okay, I'm going to throw up.
Jack is, I don't know if you can see, he's literally in first gear.
I swear to God, it's like 800 foot, just sheer drop right there.
Don't look.
And I'm as wide as the road. I don't know what we'd do if somebody came the other way.
At the end of the day, call us the losers, whatever. It was nice to at least pull off and enjoy some dinner and hang out for a second, collect ourselves after spending over an hour trying to find overnight parking. And I've got my emotional support ice cream, so we're getting through this. Literally can barely see. We officially made it. Jack is taking his turn at the emotional support ice cream. And yeah, we're just gonna wander around aimlessly on Highway 1, hoping to find a campsite or a place to pull off. Wish us luck. We just parked at a Safeway. This was the only site that we saw online that was just like completely vetted, said several other RVs stay here, and when we pulled up there were several other RVs and vans. The only thing is that there are 2 cop cars in the parking lot as well, and I don't know why they're there. we were just kind of wondering if maybe they were waiting until the store closed to kick everybody out. If we can stay here tonight with no problems, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and buy so many things from Safeway. I'm not even joking. We are very low on our groceries, and I would love to say thank you to Safeway by spending my money there, if they'll allow it. Definitely disappointed with our drive through Big Sur today, unfortunately. It was just so foggy. The places that I wanted to pull off and look at, you couldn't even see. There was a waterfall in this bridge that's very well known, and even if we had stopped, you wouldn't have been able to see anything. So that was definitely sad, but you know, as I said earlier in the video, we're rolling with the waves because we're ocean girlies here. I'm really hoping that tomorrow it looks better so that we can actually drive back down and see some of what Big Sur has to offer, because I've heard by so many people that it's just such a gorgeous area to check out, and I feel like I haven't gotten to see it fully. But yeah, otherwise we're just gonna hang out here. Jack has some work to do, and I need to brush my dog because he's just shedding hair all over the place, and we're gonna get ready for bed. So tentatively, good night. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. The Safeway parking lot saved our lives. We're gonna go grocery shopping there to celebrate. Honestly, it was pretty quiet. I don't think I was disturbed until like 6:30, 7 o'clock with some louder traffic, so that was really great. Yeah, just gonna get ready and get my day started.
Somebody wanted to join the party.
So we had some Starbucks gift cards and we went to go get some Starbies. I can't even see you.
Oh boy.
I got the iced caramel protein latte.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got an iced horchata oat shaken espresso. And then a spinach feta wrap.
You have to take it out of the bag.
Spinach feta wrap. Rocky Bear says yes, take it out of the bag, take it out of the bag. Oh, he's locked in on it.
Give him a piece of cheese, he missed us. That was a horrible demonstration, I'm not gonna lie.
A little bit of egg.
Oh.
Well, it was like falling apart. It wasn't really solid.
Sure, and then I got this strawberry matcha loaf. It looks so good. You can't have any of that, Ricky. I'm very sorry.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's pretty good.
Mine's good.
Pretty good.
Oh,
It's,
judge of that.
you know, it's not. It's all right. It's low calorie though. It was like 150.
The whole thing?
Yeah, I definitely just made that up. I think something on there was 160 calories. I don't know if I got that thing, but
I think it's good. Okay. I have high hopes for this.
try it.
I do think it's good. Oh my gosh, you took a huge bite with the frosting. I literally took one with half. And I wanted you to take one with half. Because I was going to save the frosting bites for last. You like ate... You guys, he ate like half of the part with frosting on it. My personal take with Starbucks is that, you know, things are good, but they're not great. And at that point, I can get good food and coffee for a good price at Dunkin'. That's kind of how I feel.
I'd agree. I don't think it's enough better than any of the other chains to really justify the fact that you're paying like independent coffee shop prices.
Alright, we're ready to head out and we have a bit of a problem. The sun is technically out, but I don't know if you can see over there. The clouds are rolling in and it was very cloudy this morning. Internet told us that between 12 to 4 is usually when you have the least likely chance of having fog. It usually dissipates for a little bit before coming back for the evening. So hopefully we can get some views in then. Alright, I had some mail to pick up that I was able to get successfully without any issues. The fog is still here and it's kind of rolling in and it'll clear up for a little bit and then it comes back. So we're going to the Monterey Aquarium. I read about this in my book. I'm reading Voices of the Ocean, of Our Ocean, something like that. I can't believe I forgot the title of the book. I'm reading it on my iPad so I don't actually see the cover, you know. And they recommended it as being a very good aquarium in the sense that the proceeds go back to dolphin conservation and ocean conservation. They don't go buying these animals from different places. A lot of them, you know, had injuries or otherwise wouldn't survive in the wild. That it's very sustainable in that way. So I'm super excited to bring you along. I looked at the website and it does allow cameras as long as they're for personal use, which I'm not making any money with my 300 subscribers, who I'm very, very happy to have, but I'm not making any money off it, so I think I'm good. I'm gonna bring this anyway and try to get comfortable taking some pictures and videos in public. Jack has his fish shirt on. You can't see it right now because he's putting sunscreen on, but he put on a t-shirt with a fish on it, and I don't have one. I need to get a fish t-shirt. Alright, so we finished up at the Monterey Bay Aquarium. It was so fun. We had such a good time. I loved it. I highly recommend that you go and check it out if you're ever in the area. There is still this like sheet of fog over in the direction that Big Sur is in, so I don't think it's worth driving back there, which makes me so sad because I think Big Sur was beautiful. The parts that we could see were genuinely beautiful. Definitely, if I were to recommend it to somebody though, I would recommend actually booking your campground or going in a very, very unpopular time, like maybe getting there first thing on a Tuesday morning or something like that if you are trying to find first come first serve or dispersed camping. It's already after 6, so we're currently getting gas at Costco, and then we're going to just run a couple errands before we land at our spot for the night. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, consider subscribing so that you can stay up to date with where we go next, and we'll see you for the next adventure.